Man of Mastery, episode 11. Arthur Burgess visits to talk about his career as a butler to oil industry billionaires and gives us some insight on this quirky, eccentric, privileged group. I can almost guarantee you're going to hear a few things you've never heard before and definitely get a laugh or two out of this one. It's a fun, light episode. I think you're going to have fun with it too. Have a listen. Hey, good morning, Arthur. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for being here. Let's jump right into your role as a butler to billionaire oil families. So what is that like exactly? Are you sort of the man behind the man, the guy behind the curtain? Or tell me about that.
You're behind the scenes, and then I have to suggest, like when you need grooming or you need manscaping or you need whatever, I kind of keep you on track. You know, I mean, the same thing with the missus, but I don't usually get to see the missus naked, other than by accident. You know what I mean? It's usually always by accident. She'll be dashing, and then you'll be bringing towels in, or you'll be caught in whatever, and then she just usually giggles because it's you, But the other is usually they say, well, what do you think I should do about this? And, or what do you think I should do that? Well, maybe you should have your back waxed because it's looks like a, gorilla life. But
so it's total open kimono, literally.
Yeah. Well, with all the men, it's that way. You know what I mean? They're not it's like locker room with a, help me. Put my suit, I would take your suit and put it on the bed. If you want me to put the cufflinks in, I do that. I pick the tie. I put pocket square in. I make sure I polish your shoes. They're always kept up. Maybe if you I don't like those long socks. You know what I mean? Some people want the long socks. You know what I mean? And make sure if you wear boxers, they're ironed. You know what I mean? Everything is done to perfection.
To perfection. And this is, these guys were typically what? Corporate executives, family money. These are private jet billionaires.
Yes, this is, I'm the billionaire category.
So that's the level. Remind me again, how did you get into this profession?
Well, I worked for the CEO of the Irving Trust Company, and we retired. Then I went to work for him in his house, and then he had a stroke. And then I had another Houston-based family that asked me to run their estate. And then because they made the drill bits for the oil wells, then it went from one family to another and to another. And the man who moved all the oil for Shell, a Greek gentleman, and then it just, they all kind of knew each other, which everybody knows.
Yeah, so networking for you, those guys, it must be a pretty small social circle.
Yes, it is.
And when you say you ran the estate, so it wasn't just you. So was there a whole staff? I can't imagine. What does a household look like?
The main house had 16 people. So that's gardeners, somebody to take care of the cars and do polish brass. And it depends on their, an ironist. The lady just iron the clothes and the sheets inside out because they're like Egyptian cotton. A cook, 2 nannies, so there's 24-hour service, one on, one off.
I can't imagine. Most of us probably can't imagine what that lifestyle is like. I think to put it in some perspective, I think you told me a story about spending, I don't know what period of time, whether it was a year, whether it was a summer, polishing silver for one estate, that you got a truckload from the vault every day, a different set of silver every day for a period of time. Never saw the same piece twice.
Oh, no. And there were large pieces that were in big containers, showpieces that were 5 foot tall, soldiers and, things that you would put in an entryway or, a particular house that had that kind of artifacts.
And this went
You know,
on every day for how long?
a little more than a year.
Oh my gosh. And this
The
was,
lady was,
sorry, go ahead.
this is a 100-acre ranch in Rancho Santa Fe.
100-acre ranch in San Diego, Rancho Santa Fe, and not
Right.
even their primary home, right?
No, their primary home was in Houston on a Grant Street.
Unbelievable. So when you, I mean, the things that you would see in this environment where you have a 100-acre estate in one of the wealthiest parts of a city of California, and you don't even, I don't even know how much time you would spend there. I mean, the excess seems unfathomable. So, I mean, is there such a thing as too much? Do you lose perspective?
No, no. When a person has everything that he or she wants, and the money is no object, then they just collect things because a certain thing gives you like 5 minutes of pleasure. Then after you have that, then like what's next?
Okay, and talk to me about what style and image look like in this world.
We talked about this. Like when you go to college, your father or the people that help you to groom you in the executive world, they teach you that you need gray wool slacks and a blazer. Then you also need like a gray suit, black suit. Okay. And they teach you need like a red tie, like a Ferragamo or a high-powered tie because it shows power. Okay. And there's like the uniform that you wear, like a navy pinstripe, gray pinstripe, solid gray, solid blue, solid black. Those are the power clothes. All right. So now things are a little different. People might wear a lavender shirt or whatever, but still the old banking or the old thing is like a white shirt or a blue shirt.
Sure, right.
But the old. But there's nothing wrong with wearing the navy suit with wearing a colored shirt, but it's not so power. You could wear that on an off day, but if you're going to a high-powered meeting, then it should be the white. You know what I mean? Sure. So the most important thing is planning and your image. Your image should never be tarnished, no matter what.
Okay, planning and image. And what about the way someone presents themselves, let's say, in terms of just grammar and speech?
No, your choice of words and your grammar and how you conduct yourself is very important.
Got it. Okay, what else? What else is a focal point?
So being focused, and whether it's with your clothes, your day, the plan, how you're going to execute it, how you want it to be seen, how you want it to be accepted, are all very important. So the image is half of you, and the other half is whatever you're selling or whatever you bring to the table. If you're an accountant, it's the number man. If it's what you do, you have to figure out how you're going to improve whatever. So everybody brings something different to the table.
Yeah, I think about this stuff a lot in terms of being a father and how to raise a child and instill manners. What does that look like, raising children in a billionaire's world?
No, a lot of people, you can, as I told my friend the other day, you instill manners. You cannot buy them. You know.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, I think a lot about trying to make sure that that my son doesn't end up in with a sense of entitlement or spoiled, and that's just me as an everyday guy. So when you're a billionaire, how did that look with kids? Was it successful?
well,
Did it vary?
they they know that their father is very wealthy, and sometimes the father lets them get away with too much, and sometimes the father is like hard on them. It depends on the person, but the most important thing is that they want your, like, just like you or like what I did, is to groom your children for a successful career, which I have done and you have done. You're doing it now. So it's important. Your son is kind of a jock, kind of like you. My middle son was kind of a jock. Teddy was a piano, harp, violin, Eagle Scout, different, but Teddy had an attention span that was short. And then he always would do something 3/4 of the way, and then he didn't want to do it anymore. He changed. He went to Tulane, then he decided and graduated, then he decided he wanted to be a dentist. So he went to school twice. But that was typical Teddy, typical my son.
Every boy's different,
Barrett,
right?
no, but Barron went to school and just plugged along and got, B's. He was not the A student, but it was the most well-liked. And I call him a jockstrap because he played soccer, he played baseball, he did this, he did that. And a very unassuming person. He could go to Walmart and buy a $8 shirt, and it would be just fine. And Teddy would have to have an Armani one that cost $180 and ironed.
And ironed. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you go into it? Did you have one thing that you had picked out that you felt was most important to convey to your boys, or that you wanted to leave them with or send them into life having?
Well, personal grooming. You know what I mean? Manscaping and being kind. And especially being kind to your wife or your spouse, because then your relationship works. And you also you have to be a good listener. Sometimes when you come home, if they work or they're in the outside world, you have to listen to their day, even though you don't want to. But it keeps a happy, harmonious house, and it shows that you're not bored with the person.
No, it's a good one. We can all get better at that. And I think you mentioned offline, marriage is an ongoing, a work in progress. What'd you call it? Ongoing negotiation?
Yeah, because the number one thing is you'll come home from work, and she said, "Oh, I had a horrible day. I don't want to cook." Okay, so you say, "Well, what about Chinese food?" Well, I was thinking about a pizza. So you have two options: to say agree with the pizza, or to say, well, I could, order some Chinese and we could get a pizza. We could have both. And what about a decadent dessert? Like, let's have some great brownies or something, or some raspberry sorbet or something, nice. Okay. So I used to get in trouble because I would be didn't want to give in. But I found that it was easier to swing by and get both or order both in.
Well, you must have figured out the secret. You see your wife, B. You're a widower now, but you were married for a full lifetime.
Mm-hmm. But the things are important. Sometimes the little things are important to them that we don't see. And I worked in a house for 40 years with ladies. So you have to be a good listener because they love to soundboard and to complain, and you just, yes, and you take the middle of the road. You don't you kind of agree with them. You can't disagree with them. You kind of well, tomorrow will be better, or just give them a little time, or maybe we should talk to them about it. Because it can be like your toenails are too long. It could be like there's hairs on the white carpet, or in the bathroom. It could be you squeeze the toothpaste in the middle of the tube wrong. It could be we never know what's going to set them off. So you try to, sometimes men feel like, oh, I walk on eggs to please her, and then maybe does she please me? Like maybe she should take a shower with me and make me happy. But sometimes you have to work on it to make it go smooth. So
it takes work, no doubt about it.
It takes, and then sometimes you do something, and then there's like women don't like when men buy new underwear. That's like they think that you're doing that because somebody else is going to see them.
Danger zone. It's a warning flag.
Yeah, they want to buy you that, and if you all of a sudden you don't trim all the time, and then all of a sudden you get the weed whacker out and you trim, it's like, well, why are you doing that? So there's always like, what have you, like, why are you doing this? Like, say once a year you're gonna fly to Europe or the south of France, so you get your back waxed if you have hairy back. And it's like, well, why did you do this? Well, because when I wear a swimsuit, I don't want to look gorilla-like. Well, you never do it before. And, there's always this, like, sometimes when you do things, if you don't keep up with the maintenance, then it's all of a sudden that it's like something wrong. And I have been with more men, high-powered, that have bought bought some underwear when they traveled or something, and they get in trouble. They come to me, where did these come from? And I would say, well, when he came back from Paris, he bought them. Well, I mean, they're not that they're like something that the male stripper would wear. They could just be, he was in a store and he liked the Prima cotton, or they had them on a mannequin and they didn't have any seams. Cause like a lot of, for wearing like colored slacks, if they don't have seams in them, people like them better. Okay. And it's like, well, Arthur, why did he buy these? I felt like saying. So I said, well, so when he wears light slacks, they don't have seams. Oh, it's like, why do you buy different color hose? Because in one dress, this looks better, and another dress, that one. And if you wear black, and sometimes they wear black hose with black, like evening wear type things, it looks better, like monochromatic. Okay.
It sounds like you were a counselor as much as other things.
Yeah, but sometimes men, they'll go into like Brooks Brothers or Pink in New York and whatever, and then they have these underwear and they see them, and and it will be a female thing. Well, you should have these. You've got like light yellow golf shorts. What you should have these. So all the the seams don't show. And so then a man buys like two pairs, because there's like two in a package, and he brings them home, and I wash them and I put them in the drawer, and then he puts them on, and then all of a sudden it's like, why is he wearing those? Where did he get those? And it's like 900 thing. So they're kind of always afraid that you're stepping out. It's always a thing, because men, they kind of, if they stepped out, it would be like, well, why are you going in there when look at what I have? You know what I mean? Or look at what you know what I'm saying?
Sure, right.
The thing. So if a lady steps out, men don't usually catch them unless it's an ongoing thing. And they kind of really don't care, to be honest with you. As long as they're taken care of, it doesn't really happen. A lady could have a thing with a pool boy once in a while, and nobody would ever think anything of it.
No doubt, women are typically craftier and smarter. Guys, we're not the most graceful, intelligent animals.
No, but men usually, like, they screw up somehow. I don't know why, but it's like natural that they screw up. And a lot of very wealthy, they buy somebody a bracelet or buy somebody a big ticket item, but then the bill goes to their office. So it's like, okay. You know what I mean? In that league, if a man bought a lady a $10,000 bracelet for, a little afternoon light or whatever. Okay, it's no big deal. But if you bought something for $5,000 and it was on the American Express bill, and all of a sudden you always pay the bills, and then one day it's laying there and she looks at it because she's looking about to see about the points, and then all of a sudden, wow, this jewelry store, $5,000 or $8,000, then you're going to get hold on the carpet.
Oh, it probably doesn't even move the needle for those guys.
No, no, they don't. Because it's like it might be like a corporate account where that never goes home. Doesn't matter. Kind of a thing. But you just buy. No. If you buy different cologne, you know what I mean. New
Right.
underwear,
Right.
trim down there. All these things could get you in trouble.
No, yeah, no doubt about it.
Because no, it's like you went into Brooks Brothers and there's a lady and she has a low blouse and she squirts. Oh, let me. Do you like this? She squirts it on your arm or on your neck, and and those bazoomies come at you, and then you're buying an $80 bottle of cologne, and then when you get
Sold.
home, why did you buy it? Well, you can't say why you bought it. It was in a moment of lust, But that's if you walk in any department store and there's the men's colognes and you see these ladies with great bodies squirting here and there, and you're in for $100, $200 in 10 minutes.
Sales and marketing. Yeah, there you go. Do you out of all these years of experience, do you with that crew, do you what do you think are some of the best lessons you took away, and what are some of the worst things that you saw that you would avoid?
Men sleeping naked in bed. It makes women, they like it, but they want to activate it. So if a man gets in bed and he doesn't like, and it's not like a normal program, like he does it all the time. So then all of a sudden they get mad. Why are you doing this? So, you know what? It's not Thursday, or it's not whatever. And they get real crazy, So you have to sometimes suggest that flowers and sachet and and being a little more genteel with them works better, because they always want to feel that they're in control. So the lesson of keeping men on track is a very important thing, and even if it's older men, because older men, sometimes when they go to a dinner party, they have this roving eye, and then they get in trouble, and they have to buy expensive pieces of jewelry to show their love.
What about if you had to pick one grooming tip, what would it be?
That men should have their ears waxed and their nose done. If they don't use one of those little machines, which I don't like because it just cuts them off, it's like shaving, and they got to keep doing it, and it irritates your skin. So I'm saying that if you can like pluck your nose, a little bit, and and deal with that. But I think ear wax is like because there isn't any lady that does it like cauliflower ears, or with hair in your ears.
Earwaxing. That it sticks in my mind. That's the one thing you mentioned to me that I had never heard of before. Didn't know it was a thing. I knew it's a thing.
No, because the lady's gonna kiss you, and then she's gonna kiss you on your neck, and she'll bite you, and there's nothing worse than the cauliflower ears.
Cauliflower ears, love it. What about style? What do you think? Pick your top style tip.
Style has to be with your body. So you have to have some styling, and you have to look in the mirror. But a lot of people don't look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's individual. Yeah, it makes sense. It's gonna vary with the guy's body type for sure. What about manners? What'd you do with your boys, or what do you think the one thing is we should learn as men with regard to manners?
Mm. Well, you have to learn how to deal with um, all of the tools for, like the salad fork, the oyster fork, the the spoon and fork when the dessert spoon and fork when it's up there. You have to learn how to maneuver things and not turning the fork upside down like European people and using the knife as a bulldozer. You know what I mean? Like if you have peas, they push them like it's a little bulldozer and they use the knife. So that, to me, that's like not so. You just have to. The one thing with men, don't gobble. Not you don't have to chew something 18 times, but kind of eat a little more slow and look at the person that you're dining with. That's kind of the thing, and just learn. You know what I mean? Because you just start from the left, going in with the forks or whatever. Don't pick up the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
you're not sure,
manners, table
watch
manners,
people.
etiquette. You
Yeah.
know what one I picked up on that I showed my son. If you take your hands and you kind of you make a circle with your index finger and your thumb, sort of the OK. You do that with both hands as you're looking at them. The one on your left hand looks like a lowercase b, like boy, and the one on your right looks like a D. So the B, my left hand, that's my bread plate, B for bread, and the D is my drink. My drink's going to go on the right. So when you sit down at the round table and you have no idea which is your bread plate, which is your glass of water, there it is. It's the B and the D.
Well, the bread plate usually is on the left. It belongs on
Right.
the left,
Yep. So
but
that's how I
and
remember. My left hand looks like a B.
right, and it's real small. You know what I mean? It's only designed for one roll or one, whatever. Okay. The other thing that men do, because men like steak, is like cut it in big pieces. Cut it a little. I mean, not it should be like a little lady, or she cut it left her like a baby. Just cut like a little bit smaller pieces. And chew with your mouth closed, and make sure you engage with the conversation. You know, so that's the key.
Yeah, we're getting definitely getting worse with this stuff with cell phones and people around the table with phones. I'm bad about it. I think we all are now.
No, no, but I think that phone should be like for the dinner table. Should not be allowed. No, no, because if you're going to be at either someone's house or whatever, you want to engage in conversation. So engaging in conversation is very important, as opposed to checking your messages every 5 minutes. I have a friend that recently got a text that his wife wanted a divorce, and it's as bad as my mother serving my father on the golf course. Now that rates up with the top things that could make you cringe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, regardless of technology, whether it's the phone now or it was something else before, some of this stuff is just timeless. I would say, and you and I were talking offline the other day about honesty, and you made a comment. Oh, you're an old soul. Well, I don't. I mean, is honesty really a an old, outdated concept? That seems timeless to me.
No, no, it's kind of an old soul because some people are not real, and you can sort of you can tell people can read other people by their energy. So that the energy that you put out is very important. The like in metaphysics, what you put out, and you want to come back. So the honesty is something that you don't know whether you're dealing with a truthful person or somebody who's questionable or somebody who's playing games. So you have to figure it out.
I did want to talk a little bit about and find out what you're doing with art these days.
There's an antique center on 19th Street, which is in the Heights, and it has mostly all regular antiques. So we're trying to put one contemporary art in the grouping of all of the other things So there would be a different program. Because if you put a piece of contemporary artwork in a gold leaf frame, it captures the thought within. Because when it's in a frame, it captures the thought. When a piece of contemporary work is not in a frame, then the image projects into many different areas because your imagination goes all over.
All right, my friend. I probably got to wrap up, and I know you got stuff to do as well. So I really appreciate you
Okay.
taking the time. I mean, you every time we talk, you're just dropping wisdom and all this stuff that most of us just never see, or maybe just take the time to think about. It's great. All right, Arthur. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week.
You too.
Really enjoyed it.
Bye now.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
That was a fun one. I enjoy visiting with Arthur. He's lived such a long, interesting life. He cracks me up. I mean, who knew that manscaping was such a recurring topic in the billionaire jet set world? Okay, to wrap this one up, I'd ask a couple things of you. Head over to manofmastery.com/009 from our episode a couple weeks ago and check out the action plan there for lessons learned from the first 2 months of interviews. Also, head over to iTunes, rate the podcast, and subscribe. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up next week.